Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Damon Ing, and I am the lead coordinator of the Public Safety Training Center's Law Enforcement Academy. On behalf of the Tarrant County College Northwest Campus, it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the graduation ceremony of Tarrant County College Police Academy Class number 204. Thank you for those joining us online for the graduation ceremony.
Good afternoon. My name is Rafael Perea. I'm a course coordinator here at the Police Academy at Tarrant County College. I'm also a Major, United States Air Force Reserve, and serve as the 10th Air Force Security Forces Chief of Training and Readiness at NAS Fort Worth, Joint Reserve Base, Texas. Before we recite the Pledge of Allegiance, I want to take a second to remind everyone why it's an important part of our ceremonies. Throughout the nation's history, America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen have bravely answered the call to defend our freedom and to aid our friends and allies and to turn back aggressors. Today is our privilege to say thank you to all of America's veterans, to let them know that we appreciate them for their service and honor them for their sacrifices. In honor of those who have served our country proudly, it is my pleasure to introduce the following cadets. Cadet Kavanaugh, United States Army E-4 Specialist. Cadet Philip Jackling, United States Army E-4 Specialist. Cadet Colby Jackson, United States Marine Corps, E-4 Corporal. Cadet Katie Thompson, United States Marine Corps, E-5 Sergeant.
Right, wait. Half right, wait. Present, on. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Half pledge, wait. Forward, march.
Please remain standing as Cadet Milliken will lead us in the invocation.
Let us bow our heads. Father, once again, we come thank you for your many blessings, God. We as the class of 204, thank you for the journey that you've allowed us to complete, Father. We ask that you will bless us as we begin a new journey, Father. We thank you for the support of our families as well as our agencies. God, help us to be able to keep the integrity of the badge wherever we may go, Father, making a difference in the community that we serve. Father, we thank you again for your many blessings. It's in Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Keller. I'm the director of the Public Safety Training Center. It's an honor to be here to introduce the staff of the Public Safety Training Center's Law Enforcement Academy. Our students are of our leadership, starting with Dr. Zarina Blankenbaker, President, Northwest Campus, Dr. Judith Gallagher, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dean Sonia Brown, Dean of Public and Social Behavioral Sciences. Thank you all for your leadership and support of our programs. It's because of their support and leadership and insight and recommendations from our advisory council that we are able to do what we do. I'd also like to acknowledge the efforts of our administrative staff, Lauren Molinowski, Adriana Benavides, Sable Cantu, Hayden Johnson, and Colette Jackson. Thank you for all your support. Last but not least, Tarrant County College and the Public Safety Training Center would like to acknowledge the agencies that entrusted Tarrant County College with and supported the cadets from their agencies. Members of the Grapevine Police Department under the leadership of Chief Mike Hamlin, members of the Highland Village Police Department under the leadership of Chief Doug Rhyme, members of the Keller Police Department under the leadership of Chief Bradley Fortune, members of the Kennedale Police Department under the leadership of Chief Tommy Williams, members of the North Lake Police Department under the leadership of Chief Robert Crawford, members of the Stephenville Police Department under the leadership of Chief Dan Harris, and members of the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office under the leadership of Sheriff Bill Wayburn. Thank you.
It is important that we take a moment to reflect on the hard work, commitment, and sacrifice that it takes to complete the course of instruction. Class 204 began their journey on October 26, 2020, and over the 22 weeks, members of this class spent hours and hours learning subjects such as law and criminal procedure, arrest techniques, defensive tactics, and firearms training. We pushed them to become comfortable with being uncomfortable, to be able to stand the rigors and demands for policing. For 776 hours over a period of 97 training days, cadets were pushed to learn, to perform, and to start thinking and acting like law enforcement professionals. It bears mentioning here that the hard work was borne not only by the students, but by their families. Through the years, it has become very apparent to me that a key element for most of us in law enforcement, if we wish to have a productive and satisfying career, is a supportive and understanding family. The graduates themselves are justifiably proud of what they have accomplished, as they should be, and all should take this time to reflect on your success. For those who have not been to our graduations before, we have started asking the classes to share a little bit about themselves. We want to make our graduations more focused on the class and to the individual members. We asked Class 204 if they would mind sharing a few of these details. Some of their previous careers include 5 jailers, a medical device sales rep, fitness specialist, firefighter, vet tech, pastor, mental health tech, mailman in the Army, security in a high school and in construction. One of our cadets is from Puerto Rico. Some of their hobbies have included being an All-American rugby player, college football player, a high school pole vault champion, national shooting champion, and if I may mention, being 4th in the world, producing theatrical productions, and setting a record for eating a 3-pound cheeseburger in 3 minutes. One cadet drove 160 miles round trip to the academy each day. 5 cadets have an associate's degree. 7 of these cadets have a bachelor's degree. But most importantly, all 14 cadets passed the state licensing exam on their first attempt. Thank you, everyone.
It is my honor today to introduce our keynote speaker, Chief Dan Harris. Dan Harris was sworn in as Chief of Police in Stephenville, Texas on February the 4th of 2020. Chief Harris is a native of Texas. He is in the 6th of 7 generations of law enforcement officers in his family. He is named after his great-grandfather who was shot and killed in the line of duty as a Texas Ranger. In 1990, he began his law enforcement career in San Angelo, Texas as a police officer. He also served as a law enforcement instructor for the South Plains College Criminal Justice Education Center in Levelland, Texas. In 1995, Chief Harris entered on duty with the U.S. Border Patrol as a member of Class 286, and it was the first stationed in El Paso, Texas. From there, he received promotions to Lordsburg, New Mexico station, Border Patrol headquarters in Washington, D.C., Marfa, Texas station and sector, Grand Forks sector in North Dakota, and in 2014, he was promoted to Chief Patrol Agent of the Blaine sector in Blaine, Washington. In 2020, he retired the Chief Patrol Agent of the U.S. Border Patrol Academy, where he led one of the largest law enforcement academies in the United States. In 2007, Chief Harris was awarded the U.S. Border Patrol's Medal of Honor, Newton Isaac Award. Also, in EMT, he provided emergency medical assistance to stabilize a wounded deputy sheriff during gunfire that erupted at a domestic disturbance call. The incident ultimately resulted in the death of 2 deputy sheriffs before the suspect was shot and taken into custody. In 2010, Chief Harris graduated from the National Defense University's Joint Advanced Warfighting School with a master's degree in planning and strategy. In addition, he holds a bachelor's degree of arts and psychology from Angelo State University and an associate of arts degree, along with recognition as distinguished alumni from South Plains College in Levelland, Texas. Chief Harris and his wife, Katrina, have been married for over 30 years and have 2 wonderful children. Chief Harris.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Class 204. What a great day. I am honored to stand before you, before your academy leadership, before your instructors, your staff, and virtually before your family members, your loved ones, and our special guests. As mentioned in my introduction, I could not have been more blessed to come from a long line of police officers, deputy sheriffs, and Texas state lawmen. They have had such a great impact on my life, and they are the reason I stand before all of you here today. I am forever grateful to be following in their footsteps. But I would also not be standing here before you if it was not for my lovely wife, Katrina. She has taken care of everything in our family and raised our beautiful and awesome children, and done so for the last 31 years so that I could focus on chasing the bad guys and focus on helping make this profession the absolute best profession in the world. Katrina, thank you. Beautiful, I love you. So from my beginnings in the small West Texas town of Denver City, my father, against my mother's wishes, had me riding in the front seat of his patrol car from the time I could barely see over the dashboard. I spent so many awe-inspiring shifts with him, working the radio, working the spotlight, trying to catch a burglar in the act, or just dreaming of the next chase. My Uncle David, my dad's brother, was no different. He was a 45-year veteran officer with 33 years as the chief of police in Athens, Texas. He let me go on every call with him when I was in my youth, no matter what the type of call was, and no matter what we were responding to. I never wanted those calls to stop coming, and I never wanted their shifts to end. I never wanted to get out of their patrol cars, and I was always begging for more. My cousins were no different. They always took me under their wings, especially again during my younger years. They taught me very well, and then one day, almost 14 years ago, I would pull my cousin Kevin from behind a building after he was shot during an intense gun battle on a hot and lonely Texas road. Yes, my family has taught me very well. But they are not the only ones who have taught me well. There are so many, from my great instructors and field training officers at the San Angelo Police Academy, along with the great instructors at the Border Patrol Academy, all the way to my mentors today, who every single day help me succeed as the police chief in Stephenville. And to all of them, I say thank you. I can't say thank you enough. So Class 204, I also can't say thank you enough to you. I am humbled and so thankful to you for volunteering to take on this extremely important, challenging, demanding, and exciting position. Having the ultimate responsibility as the next generation to protect and serve the citizens of the great state of Texas in our respective communities. There is no greater calling. So from the bottom of my heart, I say thank you to all of you too. But a special thank you to your spouses, those family members, I know they're all watching today, your loved ones, because if it wasn't for their support, just like I talked to you about my wife and my kids and my family, none of us would be in this room here today. So I know they're not here with us, but let's still give them a round of applause, and I know they can hear us from virtually. I know I'll date myself for a minute, and so you can look him up, but Coach Tom Landry of the Dallas Cowboys once said, and I quote, don't forget to look him up, "Football's an incredible game. Sometimes it's so incredible, it's unbelievable." Unquote. Being a police officer, being a deputy sheriff, being a law enforcement officer is also so incredible, it's absolutely unbelievable. It is so incredible, and it can only be experienced by those of us who all started in the same place you are sitting here today, as graduates of a law enforcement academy. And I know from meeting with some of you in the parking lot and prior to this, I know you all agree with me that sitting there today, is an absolutely awesome and incredible place to be. What you will also soon now realize is that you're about to experience what I always have to talk about, and that's a tremendous privilege we have in our great profession. And that privilege is specifically unique to this, our law enforcement profession. It's a privilege that cannot be bought or sold. It's a privilege that can't be traded or manufactured, and it can't be only be experienced by those willing to serve. It is the privilege of making a positive difference in someone's life. When we, and now including you, the graduates of Class 204, are doing our very best work, when we are doing the most important things we can do as law enforcement officers, we are doing one of two things. We are making a positive difference in the lives of the people we serve, or we are making a positive difference in the lives of the people we serve with. If we are lucky, we are doing both at the same time. And make no mistake about it, it is truly a privilege. And by the very nature of the work we do, it is a privilege we get to experience on a regular basis. However, like most privileges, it must be earned, hence why you are sitting here today. And it comes with great responsibility. It also comes with the obligation and professional duty to be prepared when the opportunity presents itself. Because again, unlike most privileges, you will not receive any advance notice of its arrival. In our line of work, that is simply not how it happens. In all likelihood, your sergeant will not inform you prior to your shift that you will arrest someone who is selling drugs. Maybe it's marijuana, methamphetamine, cocaine, fentanyl, you name it, heroin. You won't be told that those narcotics were destined for a teenager or a young adult who is struggling to figure out life and turning to narcotics for an answer, or that those narcotics you just seized would have resulted in a fatal and final decision of a confused young man or woman. But as you watch the suspect seated in the back of your Tahoe, you realize one thing clear. The only difference he wanted to make in anyone's life was to increase the size of his wallet and the income of his trafficking organization and ultimately the cartels. You realize that maybe, just maybe, your work saved someone's life that you will never, ever meet. And that someone will never, ever know your name. You will not receive a memorandum from someone like me, your chief, informing you that next week you will be on patrol trying to find an intoxicated driver. Callers have just advised your 911 dispatchers that the driver is going the wrong way on a 2-lane highway. You will do everything you can to get there as fast as you can to stop him. As soon as you get close to the area, you will pull behind a pickup truck, pulling a long horse trailer, hauling 2 beautiful horses. As you pull in behind that vehicle, the pickup and the trailer, and top the next hill, the intoxicated driver will collide head-on with that pickup that's in front of you at approximately 80 miles per hour. That intoxicated driver and one of the horses will be killed instantly, and you will be dealing with the innocent driver who is trapped between the engine and the horse trailer, struggling to breathe. You will do everything that you have been taught here and then some, utilizing all of your training and skills to keep him alive and stable until the fire and EMS units arrive. And it will take them over an hour to extricate him. He will survive, and he will struggle how he can appropriately say thank you to you. His emotions will be overwhelming to you. And as mentioned earlier, there will be no notice one day when you respond to the last call of your shift, the last call of, like in Stephenville, 12-hour shifts. It's the end of the day. You're ready to go home. And upon arrival at that call, you will be called upon to engage in a fight for your life, in a gun battle, in one of the most difficult days of your life. The battle will be to save your own life, save your partner's life, and even save someone's life you don't even know. You will be called upon to give everything you have in you to survive. Some of those with you will not survive. Some of those with you will not come home at the end of that shift, at the end of that 12-hour shift. And you will have to spend hours picking up the pieces and not make it home until the next day. But you have to prepare yourself mentally for what's next. For when you get home, you will hug your family closer, tighter than you ever have in your life. And then you must take care of them mentally too. And lastly, you will have to be ready to do it all over again and go back to work. I was fortunate to be a witness, a police officer, a border patrol agent, and in some cases, a participant in these events and so many others. But I tell you this not to suggest that my experience is unique. It is not. Beginning on the very day you arrived here at this academy, you were among instructors and staff with these same experiences and so many more. Law enforcement officers do extraordinary things every single day to make positive differences in the lives of the people we serve and the lives of the people we serve with. Class 204, you too now get that opportunity to do the same thing, to make a positive difference and experience the absolute privilege found in the satisfaction that you have positively impacted the lives of those you serve and those you serve with. My challenge to you today, always be ready. Always be ready when the opportunity presents itself. Keep yourself prepared, mentally and physically, and you will be prepared not to just make a difference in someone's day, but to make a positive difference in someone's life. I know you will all do just that. For when you leave here today, you leave here, thanks to them, prepared and ready to serve your respective communities. For the importance of what you do from this day forward cannot and nor will it ever be understated. And you will face immense challenges. The challenges facing our profession might be as difficult today as some other difficult times in our history. But the great training you've received from these gentlemen and ladies has prepared you for these challenges, and now everyone is counting on you to be the best you can be. When you walk out these doors, a top-notch professional law enforcement officer, no matter what obstacle or challenge you face. A team player, one who will make each of your departments honored to have you as a part of them. Let me say that part again. You will walk out these doors and make each one of your departments honored to have you as a part of them. I know you will. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of almost 700,000 law enforcement officers in this great country, welcome to our family. I am proud of all of you, and I wish you the absolute very best. Good luck, stay safe, and may God bless you and your families. May God bless Texas, and may God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Chief, on behalf of Class 204, I'd like to present you with this small gift.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it greatly. Thank you.
Will Class Leader Cadet Stone please come up to the class speech?
Good evening, everyone. Before you today are the 14 brave men and women who make up the Tarrant County College Police Academy BPOA Class 204. This is an extremely diverse and unique group of individuals. We come from all walks of life in all corners of the U.S. Even though all of us has had vastly different previous lives, here we stand together, proudly wearing our department names on our sleeves and our family names on our chest. Standing here beside these men and women as we celebrate this monumental accomplishment, I cannot help but to reminisce about what has led us here today. Our journey to become police officers started long before we first walked through the front doors of the police academy. It truly began when the fire inside of us was first ignited, when we each chose to answer the calling to serve our community. Somehow, with all the noise from society nowadays, everyone here still heard that calling. We did not cower to societal pressures. We remained steadfast in our resolve to make a difference and chose to begin the long road of becoming a police officer. We then went through months of rigorous background investigations, psychological screenings, physical fitness evaluations, all to lead us up to the first day of the police academy. On October 22nd, 2020, Class 204 walked through the front doors of the police academy for the first time. At the time, we could only recognize each other by the "Hello, my name is" sticker that was stuck to our chest. Now our last names have become seemingly irrelevant, as we only refer to one another by the various nicknames we've earned during our times here During the following 22 weeks, we faced many trials and tribulations, internal and external to the Academy. Like everyone else, COVID did not spare its unrelenting touch as we had to remain at home in quarantine while we covered the exhilarating topic of penal code. The near-family violence that was handcuffing as the 14 of us brutalized each other during arrest and control tactics. The electrifying experience of taser, which was swiftly followed by the OC spray. The tedious studying of traffic codes, which was somehow made entertaining by Instructor Woodrum's endless tales of the great Dumas America. The second coming of the Ice Age, which forced us into a 19-day studying frenzy. But through each of these challenges, we watched ourselves and our fellow cadets grow stronger, more confident, more prepared. This observation truly set in last Friday as we sat around eagerly awaiting our next call during final scenarios. We began thinking back to all the lessons learned during previous weeks and laughed as we imagined what it would be like attempting final scenarios during our first weeks here. Every one of us was smiling from ear to ear as we answered calls with confidence and poise that would have once sent us into a crisis. While I know we've already overcome so many challenges during a short time here, I leave not only the members of 204, but everyone listening with one final challenge. I challenge you to never succumb to complacency. Each day you're gifted with another breath, take it as an opportunity to improve, not only in the aspects of law enforcement, but in all aspects of life. No matter how far you have come, there's always an opportunity to grow with each day. As we conclude our final day here at the Police Academy, we say goodbye to the family that we have come to know and love. This family consists of not only the officers you see before you today, but also the amazing staff as well. It has truly been an honor to have been a student of what I believe to be the greatest cadre of instructors. Thank you to Dr. Ng, to coordinators Perea, King, McGregor, for always being available to stay after hours to review tests and answer any questions when we needed. Thank you to Instructor Dusick, the Gomez siblings, Hall, Nimitz, Sears, Woodrum, and White for always going above and beyond. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the countless hours each of y'all put in. If I did not call your name, I am truly sorry, for there's too many to list. But if you're watching this graduation today, please know that we appreciate you as well. Thank you. You gonna present this?
Yeah, if you want to say anything.
You're just supposed to present.
Yeah, I don't know. Thanks,
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. You're next, right?
Strong, solid leadership is an important part of a law enforcement organization. It's also important in the academy environment. To lead in such a setting requires commitment, character, dedication, diligence, desire, and obviously this list could continue. With that said, it's important that we recognize and show appreciation for those members of Class 204 who served in leadership roles. We would like to recognize these class leaders and present them with the collar brass that they wore during the academy. When I call your name, please come forward. Class Lieutenant Colby Stone of the Stephenville Police Department. Squad Sergeant Philip Jackling of the Grapevine Police Department. Squad Sergeant Quincy Milliken of the Kennedale Police Department. And Class Guide On Sergeant Jake Overstreet of the Stephenville Police Department. Now we will recognize members of the class who are receiving individual awards. The Class Leadership Award is presented to the cadet that was selected as Class Lieutenant, the senior leadership position in an academy class. In addition to the heavy academic and physical stresses inherent in the academy experience, this cadet shoulders a substantial responsibility for the well-being and maintenance of their peers. Will Colby Stone please come forward? For presentation of class valedictorian, the Academy's highest academic honor, will Jake Overstreet please come forward? For presentation of class salutatorian, the second highest academic honor possible, will Michael Engler please come forward? Presentation of the award as most physically fit is presented to the graduate that held the best average of all three 2,000-meter rowing tests. Will Jake Overstreet please come forward? The Marksmanship Award is presented to the cadet demonstrating the highest level of proficiency and accuracy during Firearms Training Week. However, for the first time ever, we had 2 cadets score 100% on their firearms qualification for the Academy. We had this tie in which our award recipient, Jake Overstreet, won by scoring another 100% on a subsequent attempt. Will Jake Overstreet please come forward? But since this was an unprecedented event, we would also like to acknowledge Colby Jackson for his score on the firearms qualification. Presentation of honors as the most distinguished recruit is an award given to a cadet who is voted by their peers as having attained the highest level of accomplishment and peer respect as a member of the class. Will Katie Thompson please come forward? The Nick Fowler Award is presented by the graduating class to an instructor considered to hallmark the highest traditions of teaching and academic excellence. This award is made in the memory of Irving police officer Nick Fowler. Our award recipient grew up in Cleburne, Texas. He graduated from the Department of Public Safety All-Service Academy in 1985 and was assigned to the patrol service in Dumas, Texas. He was assigned as a trooper for 11 years and promoted to highway patrol sergeant for 13 years. He was promoted again to highway patrol lieutenant in Austin, Texas for 5 years and then transferred to Mineral Wells, where he retired as a highway patrol lieutenant in 2017. He attended Abilene Christian University and Tarleton State University. He holds a Master Peace Officer certificate and was a graduate of Northwestern University Police Staff and Command School. He has also been an Incident Command System All Hazards Task Force Commander. In addition, he holds several additional TCOL certifications. Please join me in welcoming the Nick Fowler Award recipient for Class 204, Mr. Randy Woodrum. We will now present the members of the 204th Academy class certificates of completion and the TCC Criminal Justice Training Center Challenge Coin. Challenge coins are carried by soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, as well as lawmen and firefighters. These coins identify the holder as a member of a particular unit, with a well-defined history and mission. The Tarrant County College Criminal Justice Training Center has designed our own coin for our Basic Peace Officer Academy graduates. These coins are only awarded to graduates of the Academy. At this time, I will call the names of the 204th Academy class for the awarding of their certificates. As I call your name, step forward, and congratulations on your success, for yours is a job well done. During their time in the Academy, cadets have had the opportunity to earn Achievement Award bars. These awards include prior military service, physical fitness, marksmanship, and academic achievement. As each graduate comes to the front, any achievement awards they earned will be notated next to their photograph that will appear in the class video. I will now call out the cadets' names in alphabetical order, and they will be presented with their graduating diplomas. Officer Natalie Barrios of the Highland Village Police Department. Officer Channing Bullard of the Kennedale Police Department. Deputy Sidney Kavanaugh of the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Michael Engler of the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Brittany Huffaker of the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office. Officer Philip Jackling of the Grapevine Police Department. Officer Colby Jackson of the Stephenville Police Department. Officer Quincy Milliken of the Kennedale Police Department. Officer Jake Overstreet of the Stephenville Police Department. Officer Antoine Stevenson of the Keller Police Department. Officer Colby Stone of the Stephenville Police Department. Officer Katie Thompson of the Stephenville Police Department. Officer Scott Chabatowski of the North Lake Police Department. Deputy Tani Valentin of the Tarrant County Sheriff's Office.
Ladies and gentlemen, we wish to sincerely thank you for celebrating their accomplishment online. To the graduating class, I want to say congratulations on your amazing accomplishment. As you graduate from the Police Academy today, you take upon yourself all the responsibilities of a police officer. Remember, above all else, that the bottom line of your duty is to protect and serve. With great power comes great responsibility. We now conclude the ceremony by asking the class leader to please conduct the final dismissal.
204, attention.